All right, I'm coming back with another cutie stamp set from Pretty Pink Posh. I saw this on their site. I had to have it, so I ordered it. We're gonna have fun with this cutie today and make a fun icon card. I love the icon sets. I think they are so fun to play with, and they always just really inspire me for different ways to use repetition, and I just love it. So I am going to go ahead and pull some supplies. We're going to use my favorite color combination, which is Nectar, Lilac, and Mint for Halloween, and we're going to have fun coloring. All right, I'm also going to bring in, let's set the timer. Let's see how long this is going to take. All right, let's set this to an hour, see if I can do this in under an hour. I brought in some other stuff that I really love. I love this circle stencil. I'm gonna make a square card today. I have never made a square card on my channel. Let's do it because I think this is gonna offer for a really fun design. And then I also have these sentiments that came out this year, and I really want to use this trick or treat. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to do, let me bring this out first. I'm gonna count this down a little bit because it took me about 4 minutes to explain plus grab and think through my supplies. So that's more accurate. Okay, let's do, first and foremost, let's get our cardstock trimmed down. So bringing in this stencil, I'm going to use my mat, and I think I'm gonna do a 4.5 inch card base. Is that right? No, it'll be a 4.5 inch card panel, which means it will be a 5x5 card. Is that right? I think that's right. Okay, let's just go. Well, we'll get the panel done first, one by one. I have my 4.5, let me double check. Yes, 4.5 by 4.5 inch panel. I think that will, yeah, be so cute. Really, really cute. Okay, let's see, hold on. And if not, I can trim down just a little bit once I get going. I think that looks good though. Is that right? I think it is. Okay, we're just gonna go with it. Okay. It's so hard when I do something different than I normally do. It's also good for me, but it makes me think for a second. I'm gonna try to secure my panel first, and then I'll do the stencil too. Okay, that should be good. I'm gonna do kind of all the way around, and I'm thinking through my stamps, and I don't have a ton of lilac, and I love the lilac color on my designs for Halloween, so I think lilac's gonna be my background color. I was kind of just trying to decide between the lilac and the sea glass, but I think I have enough places where I can bring in the mint color, so let's even it out with a little bit of lilac. All right, now I'm also going to mask off, oh boy, we're gonna do a lot of tape here. I'm gonna mask off any of the areas that I don't want ink, which is my margin area. Sorry about that. And then I will use my blender brush to brush on this pretty lilac. I'm gonna go really light. There we go. And we're almost done with this. I don't think they make this anymore, so I'll link another tape that I use for masking. I'll try to use this up because I don't think they make it anymore. Okay, now let's do this lilac color. I'm going to tap a little bit off so that it stays light and doesn't get blotchy. And add a little bit more there. This is just intended to be a really subtle background, just to give some interest. So I'm going to keep it light. You can always boost yours up, add more ink. Depends on the style you're going for, style of your card making process, but I really like that. Okay, so I don't think I'll end up bringing any more purple in with Copics. This is going to be how I bring in the purple element. Okay, just evening out any areas. Doesn't have to be perfect, Just bringing some visual interest. And we're gonna be layering things on top of this, so don't worry if you're thinking it's not looking great. It's intended, at least in my card design, it's intended to be an afterthought. Okay, it's just supporting the design. All right, now I'm gonna peel away all of my masks. And then, truth be told, we'll see if I lined all of that up correctly. Ooh, ooh, no. Oh my goodness, I just tore that. Okay, I'm gonna salvage that. I'm gonna salvage that. We're not gonna redo this. Hold on. Okay, you be more careful, but I'm gonna salvage that. I think I can mend that with a little bit of glue. But you be more gentle with your tape. I got so excited. All right, let me grab some glue. You can certainly start yours over if this happens to you, but I'm just gonna dab a little bit in there and lay that down, see if I can get that to look okay. Mend that just a little bit. Okay, I have a feeling once we get all of the stuff on there, that's not gonna be as big a deal. Just pretend it's not there. Okay, now what I'm going to do next is, let's stamp out all of these cuties. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna set this to the side and then let's stamp out these so that we can get to coloring. I also have a little mono sand eraser that I can kind of sand down the edges just to kind of soften them so you don't see that tear quite as much. That way it just kind of goes into the background there. Mend it just a little bit. Okay, I think that looks a little bit better. Okay, mono sand eraser. This works for a variety of things, but I find that it can work with mending paper. Is it perfect? No. Is it gonna work? Sure will. Okay, let's do our stamping. You know I'm trying to not redo things and just embrace imperfection, so this is going to be an example of where I'm doing that. All right, I'm going to do a scrap piece because I'll end up cutting all of these out and I'm going to use all of these. So let's do each stamp giving ample room, however, so that I can use the coordinating dies to cut them out. Got a cauldron. If you missed Tuesday's video, we had cats and cauldrons. So darn cute. I loved it. Here's a pumpkin. And actually I'm going to bring up let's bring a couple of these down a little bit. I really want to fit all of these in one spot. And I'm going to move that. And we have a bat and a little skull. Okay, I have lots of icon cards because Pretty Pink Posh tends to release quite a bit. I'm trimming this down only because it's wanting to go up over the edge of the Misty and it's not laying down flat. So now that I know how much I need, put this back in my scrap bin and put this right back there. I think I have enough room for all of my dies to go around. We should be good to go. Okay, pray that we are. Then I'm going to again use Copics to color. So I'm going to use my Memento ink because it won't smear when I begin coloring with my alcohol markers. Here's our first impression. And whoops, we got that little jack-o'-lantern smile. And then one more impression. And there we go. That should be good. Yep. While I'm here, I'm also going to, actually I can probably use the little piece I cut off, can't I? I might be able to. I'm going to do that little trick or treat sentiment as well. I think I have enough to put it this way. Perfect. I love it when plans like that come together. But before that, I gotta clean all my stamps off and put them back on the sheet. Go ahead and clean this down and stamp this out. All of the materials and stamp sets that I'm using are all going to be listed below. YouTube is always changing how they do things, so at the time I'm recording, the way to access all of the supplies is clicking on the title of the video, and then that box will open up. All right, there's our trick or treat. I'm gonna save that to the side. We'll just do all of our die cutting all at once to work smart. And I'm gonna go ahead and pick out all of my Copics and get prepped to color. I feel like I know these colors in my sleep at this point in the process, so I'll list them all below for you. Here is my color palette. I'm also gonna bring in some cheeks as well, and I think that should be it. I tried to use the same colors and just kind of disperse them everywhere. I'm also going to bring in a, I think C1. Let me do a tester. These are going to be for my white images. I think that's too much. Let's do C, oh, not C1 again, Bethany. C0 or C, oh no, C0 is going to work. Okay, those are going to be for my white images, just to give them a little boost, because I'm not going to color the ghost or the little skull. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Go ahead and enjoy watching, and we'll see how this all plays out. Okay, I think those turned out really, really cute. I did end up bringing the purple in. Hopefully that matches enough. I think that'll be fine, because I was feeling like the dark gray was getting to be a little too prominent. So I wanted to break it up a little bit, and I did a little purple cat. Although I did forget, let me bring back my C3 to do the nose. I was waiting for that purple to dry. And then I'll bring back my cheek color and color in those little ears. It's just very slight. All right, now I can bring in my die cut machine and get these all trimmed out, including my sentiment as well. So let's go ahead, switch that to the side, bring these in. Oh, I love when that happens. Look at that. I need to pre-trim all these panels down. Let me show you. They are 2.5 by 6. I need to do this more often, like have a set panel that I know will fit through my die cut machine. So if you want to do that, then there are the dimensions for that. And now I'll grab the coordinating dies. There are also some additional dies. There is more of a kind of zigzag surrounding area, and then there is some circles, or there are some circles, excuse me, that you can use as well. But I'm going to secure my dies with some tape. That way they don't shift while I send them through my die cut machine. Okay, I have them all taped down. I'm going to run them through my die cut machine to get them all trimmed out. My favorite part, besides the coloring, seeing them all trimmed. Okay, and then I will also do the same for my little trick or treat as well. And I just had to put little cheeks on the skull. Super cute. Okay, I will do my icon dies in a bit, but I have them all off. Let's do this as well. All right, super cute. And send that through too. Wonderful. Okay, I have all of my elements all cut out. So now what I'm going to do is get my panel brought right back in, and let's see, where did it go? Totally disappeared. Oh, got it. Okay, I'm gonna bring this back in, and I need to do a card base. And I think what would be cute, I think I'm gonna do a white on white, only because I have a lot of color going on. I wanna keep the color focused on the center of the card. So you could do a colored card base if you'd like. I've been having fun doing colored card bases lately, but I'm going to stick with white for this one. All right, I pulled my Copics back again just to add a couple more things to my die cut images, just to darken those eyes on that one. And then there was something else. Oh, I forgot to color the inside of my little pumpkin cutouts. So I'm going to be ever so careful here. And then I also have my gel pen, because I forgot. And I'm going to do the gel pen at the very end once I have all of my pieces on the card, because it takes a little bit to dry and I don't want to be trying to get my pieces onto my card when they're somewhat wet. So, all right, I'll leave that here so I remember. And then let me cut my card base. So my card base, if this is 4.5 by 4.5, I'm gonna do 5 by 5. So I'm gonna cut it to 5 by 10. All right, so I don't remember if I mentioned, for my card panel, I did a 80-pound cardstock. For my card base, I used 110-pound. And again, I have this sized at 10 by 5, so it will be a 5 by 5 card. So half of 10 is going to put us at 5. Place my score mark there. I'm going to have this go ahead and fold at the top, but it's a square card, so if you wanted to fold it at the side, you're going to do it the same way, and you'll just orient your card panel accordingly. But I like those top folding cards. I think they're fun. All right, and then let's get this opened up and magnet that down. I'm going to turn this over. Also, I'm going to put that little whoopsie at the bottom. I think it'll be less obvious if it's at the bottom. Let's make sure I remember to do that though once it's time. Okay, and then, whew, I got this not in the way that I usually do it. Okay, I'm gonna do 4 strips of foam tape on the back just to bump it up a little bit. I have a white on white look going here, so a little bit of dimension will give a little bit of contrast along the edges of my card. But again, I like having that simple white card base at times because it allows the color to stay the focus on the actual card. And let's go ahead and bring these right on up, just like that. And being mindful to put that ripped side on the bottom. There we go. I'll place this right on down. And I have a 1/4 inch margin, which I think is really pretty. Okay. Ooh, that's fun. All right, now for envelopes, because I know I'll get some questions about that. Envelopes. I am going to, well, I won't do it in this video, but I have a video on how to make your own envelopes. So go ahead and check that out. I have an envelope maker and I'll link that for you right here. And that will be helpful in learning how you can make custom envelopes of any size. All right, I'm going to try to disperse and separate a lot of that color. So trying to kind of separate my whites and my teals. Oh goodness, I forgot this one too. What am I doing today? What I do is I try not to do two colors against each other at the same time because then they'll bleed into one another. So sometimes I kind of bebop around my images and then I totally forget to go back. But usually I do. This one, I obviously did not do a great job. I was rocking out to worship music while I was coloring. That's why I put it on mute so you don't have to listen to me. But it puts me in my happy place. All right, so I have a lot of black left. So let me put those, let's disperse those a bit. And then we can figure out the rest. Oh, that actually didn't do too bad. I'm gonna do that and that and that. Okay, I love that. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then we'll also put our trick or treat right in the middle, which I think will be fun. For these, I'm going to use a combination of big and little foam squares just based on which size I can use. So this one can stand for a big one. And I'll just go ahead and place those on there so we have a really fun boost of dimension on this card. All right, that looks amazing. I'm also going to, as promised, bring this gel pen right back in and just do a couple little accent pieces. That one you can't really see. It just adds a little bit of fun to some of these. And I think the spider is a little too small, but okay, just a little bit of boost. Now let's think through a final embellishment. I have these from Pretty Pink Posh and I think they're really fun for Halloween. So I'm gonna use those. They're kind of like a silver disc, I guess. And I'm going to do something super simple. I think I'm just gonna do little duos. Nothing too much. So I'm gonna do, actually I will tuck and do a trio here so I can keep with my odds and then do a duo down here. Okay, let me grab my wand and we've got about 9 minutes left. I don't think this is gonna take me 9 minutes to do, well, it might take me 9 minutes to find my wand. Okay, I don't think it's gonna take me 9 minutes to do this last part. So we made it once again. 1, 2, and 3. Actually, I like a smaller one for that one. Let's put that one down here. Okay, let's grab a small. There, I like that. Let's focus this a little bit. There. Okay, much better. And another small one down here. Ooh, I like that. And there we go. I love how that turned out. It is just so fun. That little sparkle at the end is super subtle, but it's there. And I think it's really nice for that sentiment. So be sure to check out all of the supplies I use by clicking on the title of the video, and I'll see you in next week's videos.